Right. I think everybody healing from narcissistic abuse should approach the self-aware narcissist content with caution. That all of the abuse centers the narcissist, therefore the healing has to center the victim. And that when you have these self-aware narcissists like Lee that acquire these massive amounts of following, to me it just replicates system of narcissistic abuse. That he essentially acquires a bunch of flying monkeys by roping them into this very kind of specific version of narcissism, where he's saying one thing, but he's modeling the idea that narcissists can change, that there can be a safe narcissist. There cannot be a safe pathological narcissist. They don't view human relationships through the lens of connection. They view human relationships through the lens of supply extraction. And that social media attention, especially on the level that he's achieved, is like a drug to them. And that, I've had really unpleasant dealings with him, actually. When I first started talking, everybody would say, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of this guy? What do you think of the self-aware narcissist? And I would say, self-aware narcissist is an oxymoron, right? And so it's an outrageous claim from the jump. And so I finally watched him and realized he was completely full of shit, just regurgitating shit he heard online. And I was actually offended that people were centering a narcissist in a healing community. And so I made an angry video. I stitched him to see what he would do with anger, in which I said, I'm the son of a narcissist. I help people with healing from narcissistic abuse recovery, but I was angry. Like, what I heard was him laughing about emotional regulation and laughing about narcissistic abuse on a podcast. And I found that really offensive. And so what he did was make a video about me saying, I must have a girlfriend who broke up with me because of him. Shared it to millions of people. He made a series of videos. He would come on my page and talk shit, right? And so what's that actually doing? It's him soothing himself by accusing me of being a narcissist. What type of person would have a girlfriend that broke up with me, with them because of his content? Narcissist. And so it was just classic narcissistic abuse. Him gaslighting his audience, who then ate it all up. There were thousands of comments calling me weird, talking about the way I looked, soothing his narcissistic wound that I gave him through gaslighting his audience. He's basically love bombing his audience. He's selling a specific version of narcissism that's implying that narcissists can change. Because he might be saying one thing, but what's he really doing? He's cultivating relationships with survivors. And again, if it's truly a pathological narcissist, there can be no safe relationship. That he's extracting supply from the process and building up his own grandiose false self. Mental healness? Do we know any narcissists that are capable of healing other people? It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what narcissism is. At one point he said, I don't do it to my kids. When I pointed out how ridiculous that was, he started making content about how he narcissistically abuses children, and I wanted to throw up.